So next is going to be from Nara. We have Tsukigase Organic Tea Farm Organic Sencha. And somehow I always thought Tsukigase was a reference to Shiga, southern Shiga. But I guess, what do I know? One of my favorite teas from GJTEA a long time ago was a sencha that he had called Tsukigase Zairai Sencha. So like Zairai is like wild, not cloned bushes. And I think that was from Shiga. But I guess these two areas pretty much, they border each other if I'm not mistaken. And Tsukigase is right at the very bottom south of Shiga, so that I presume this would be extremely northern Nara, bordering Shiga, maybe. So the leaf isn't that dark. The amount of dark olive color you see is pretty minimal, like something like 30%. And then maybe there's about an equal part of that kind of lemongrass yellow, hay yellow, that is the stem. So the dark olive and the lemongrass are pretty much same color, same amount. So then that would make about 60% of this is moss green. They're pretty big. I don't know if I would call them needles, but I guess they are. It doesn't look like it's machined or machined. It looks maybe kind of like it's quite crude. This is my Steven Seagal look, by the way. Pretty, it's sweet, it's kind of muted, low tone, not especially fragrant, but it does smell nice. What's that? Tracking chip or something. It's a really beautiful, soft green color, the smell. It's like close to turquoise, very like pastel green, very faint. Celadon green is pretty close to the color I'm talking about. There's a juiciness to it and a sourness in the aroma that I would compare to apple, Granny Smith. And yeah, that acidic note, it's nice. I think I'm going brain dead. Can I measure this out? Yeah, I must have. Something about this reminds me of honeydew, but it's not like the key part of honeydew, because usually I would reference the freshness, the sweetness, and this is something else. Like when honeydew is underripe and it's like really I don't want to say flavorless, it's not what I mean. It's when it's, anyway, when it's quite firm or hard. The unsweet side of honeydew, especially close to the rind, where it's white. No. I will cool down the water for 2 minutes. Just while the water is cooling, I'm smelling it from here, and so this container is wet, so of course you get a bit of a different aroma. So it's like a three-way aroma. There's the honeydew thing is there, the apple is there, and there's also like a snow pea kind of thing, or sugar snap pea. But it made me think, like, of all the juice blends that I often see, why don't I ever see apple and honeydew mixed together? Surely it would be really good. Why isn't it done? Or even honeydew and pear, for that matter. Like, honeydew is such a good fruit. It's such a great fruit for juice too. No, wait. No, it's not. I think I've tried honeydew juice. Alexa, stop. Alexa, start a timer for 2 minutes.
Starting
now. I think I recall when I made honeydew juice, it like doesn't taste like honeydew anymore. I think I need to try it again. It's been a while. I don't have that endless testing income like I used to have. Regardless, this does smell quite refreshing. It's milder now. It's going towards cold, cool, same thing, wet grass. Now that aroma reminds me of oysters, especially West Coast oysters from Vancouver and the area. It's not quite as grassy as them, but we're close. The marine note is there. It's just not pronounced enough. So I suspect once I decant this off the leaves and the aroma stands out a little bit more, then it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. So Nara as an area is not one that I've had very much tea from at all. Less than 5, I guess. And same with Mie, although Mie makes a lot more tea, I believe. I believe Mie was 3rd place or 4th place in terms of production in Japan. It was pretty big last time I heard. Alexa, stop. Color looks great. We got like a emerald green, quite, or like pale, the edamame bean. It's very clear. I would say like 9 out of 10. There's a bit of a haze, but that doesn't really get in the way of anything. It smells like edamame beans. It's not so pungent, but let me look a little closer for that. Fuck. It hurts. Steam. And if I don't think it's pungent, I usually don't associate yabukita with it. It's really clean, pure. It's other than it burning my nose with the steam, it does come off as rather gentle. Vegetable beans and peas, edamame beans and green peas, those kind of things. A really sweet green vegetal aroma. Nothing fruity, nothing earthy, like dirty, I mean. Nothing sour. Yeah, it's in a way, it's, you know, the aroma's rather simple, but that's not necessarily a negative. If this can taste like that, and it does, it's not really showing the cooling side. That will be, and I guess how could you expect it to when it's still so hot? However, it's great. The finish is fresh. It's a little sweet, but I think it's overall it's kind of watery. I see a lot of potential. I like it. I think it's a misbrew. I think it needs to be stronger than this, but I can see this being an awesome tea. It's a little astringent at the end, but yeah, overall it's too watery. Smells great, feels great, easy drinking because there's not really anything there. I think that it's acceptable when a tea is gentle like this, when the finish is incredible, or even when there is a finish, really. I think that's the negative for this, is that it's great, but then you swallow it and it's gone. Whereas teas that are delicate like this typically would be like Chinese green teas, and those tend to give me more of a finish. So yeah, it's kind of bitter at the end. I think the bitterness kind of cuts off uh, where the finish would start. Like you can kind of feel it get choked out. I don't know. Today has been weird because every tea I've done Sencha though has kind of been underwhelming. And I feel like rather than trying that, I should try this brewed like 1 to 30 instead. Not quite as powerful, but a lot more powerful than this. My gut instinct tells me to do that, so I'll do like 1 to 30, a little bit cooler water. So I'll do like a 3-minute cool down, or maybe 2 minutes because it's the kettle's there. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, so for the graph, the concentration is like 2. The aroma, 4. The astringency, 2. Finish, 3. And weight, 'Not high. 2. Really light, really delicate. I am looking forward to see what happens with the stronger brew that I do. It smells like plants, smells like jungle, smells like spice. What spice? What jungle? I went to this, like, what do you even call it? It's kind of a park. It's like it's more or less, it's like a big, it's a sanctuary in Okinawa. And there, it's the most recent time in my life that I would be around like such a tropical setting in where it rained and all of the jungle plants were wet and it's freaking hot. So there's like this jungle green aroma. And there's something floral about it too. I think that's what triggered that particular aroma because there's orchids everywhere in that place. It was like an orchid shop with a giant garden attached to it, where you could get on a boat and do like a small like river. It wasn't even small. It was a really cool experience. But yeah, it's very green, environmental aroma. I'm gonna measure out, cool down the water, pause this, pawn this off to my wife, and we'll be back in a sec. So as the water is cooling down, I don't think I'm gonna be able to fill up 3 minutes of conversation. I probably won't even try, but I wanted to say this because I just smelled it. I don't know, maybe it's the, like this container is slightly warm with the tea in here, but I feel like the aroma of theanine is really, really strong. And that is a good thing. Like, that is like borderline gyokuro level aromatics from the leaf. And it brings about this sort of gingerbread housey kind of note that I get from Gewürztraminer wine sometimes. So it's, I know that's a weird way to put it, but so it's not gingerbread, literally. It's what gingerbread smells like in Gewürz, which I understand is hard to understand. But it's got a really beautiful spice bouquet. But it's not brown. That is like a reddish pink. Whoa. My wife did a Rubik's Cube. Crazy. Like aged Gewürztraminer, and the Grand Cru level, where the quality is awesome, the land is awesome, no bullshit cutting corners. It smells really good. I need to get some winemaker's opinion on this. But yeah, I'm gonna pause this until my bell rings. Literally like 2 seconds later. Alexa, stop. Alexa, start a timer for 3 minutes. Okay, Alexa, start a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
We're going crazy, guys. 4 minutes. Kind of regret that. Let's just see what happens. I'll see you folks soon. I'll pause this. No smell. Or like such a faint smell that it doesn't register. Alexa, stop. Four minutes, like, yeah, lukewarm plus water, I guess. 1 to 30. Smells sweet and spicy. Smells like ginger. Reminds me of ginger beef without the beef, so that's what the ginger smell is. Kind of green, kind of plant-like. Nope. That's way too bitter. What caused that? Shock. That's really upsetting. I feel very sad that this was wasted in such a way. 4 minutes, yeah, it's long. But at that temperature, should it really get this bitter? I didn't think so. I really didn't. But I guess 1 to 30 is really strong. Shit. Well, it's not drinkable like this. The astringency is like a 7 out of 10. It's pretty harsh. Bitterness is big. Still, there's not a lot of flavor, like the concentration of the flavor itself, it's still like sub 5. And aroma is still sub 5. It's really just a punishment, really, to drink it like this. But I'm gonna punish myself. Okay. Well, I screwed up. I feel like it has more going for it than I was able to find with what I had. I wouldn't buy it a lot. Okay, I wouldn't buy a lot of it until I was sure I could get that flavor that I want out of it. The thing is, it might not come. It might not come at all. It could be like a bait that you're like looking for something forever that's not there. So I would try it again if I could, a little bit, to figure that out. That's where I'm at mentally with this. I wouldn't say it's bad. I would say I screwed it up. I wouldn't say it's good, but I would say it has potential. And I guess we're gonna go into the hojicha, hopefully with better results. Plants again.